didn't seem like enough manpower to me. Everything was feeling even more unreal now. I was here, but I wasn't. I had no idea about the passage of time, either. It seemed as if I could have been at the farm for a couple of days, or for just a few minutes. Proof of life, I thought. That's what I want, isn't it? And if not that, then proof of death. We found a Nissan minivan that had to be the vehicle the Tiger and his killer thugs had come to the farm in. The van held small arms, clothing, and video games in cardboard boxes. But there was no sign of blood inside, no rope to tie anyone up with, nothing to make us believe Nana or the kids had been inside the vehicle. There were more tire tracks up near the house, but nothing seemed unusual. Judging from the look of the place, I figured it hadn't been a working farm for at least a couple of years. Town records showed that it belonged to a Leopoldo Gout, but we hadn't been able to contact the owner yet. Who was Leopoldo Gout? What did he know about what had happened here? Finally, at around 4 that afternoon, Bree walked me to my car. Then she drove me home to 5th Street. I was in no shape to continue looking, she said, and she was right. I hoped against hope for a good ending, but there was no one there at the house. The mess in the kitchen remained as I had found it, and I left it just that way. For memory's sake. Nana's kitchen. Her favorite place to be. Chapter 147. It was all so baffling, so incomprehensible, wrong in so many ways. Bree and I brainstormed for a while, but I couldn't concentrate. My thinking was too chaotic. I was too crazy in the head, too disturbed and lost. I didn't want to talk, didn't want to eat, and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even keep my eyes shut the one time I lay down on the living room couch. I thought about taking a drive, then decided no, not right now. "I'm going to go for a run," I finally told Bree. "Clear my head. There has to be something I'm missing." "Okay, Alex. I'll be here. Have a good run." She didn't offer to come, understanding that I wanted to be alone now. I did need to be by myself, to plan, to do something that would make some sense of what had happened. I ran at first along familiar streets close to my house, but then on the streets winding off 5th, where I didn't remember ever coming on foot before. Finally, I was able to concentrate a little better, and I began to think about what Adan had told me in Lagos. Had her secrets caused any of this? The death of her family? Her own murder? Whatever had happened to Nana, Ali, and Jani? "Alex, I know terrible things," she told me. "I'm writing a story about it. I have to tell somebody what I found out." She was afraid that something would happen to her. Well, something had happened to Adan. I continued to run, and I found that I was getting stronger physically, or moving faster anyway. What a cruel world this could be sometimes. Jesus! That wasn't how I looked at things usually. That wasn't me. Only now it was. I didn't notice anything until a gray van stopped suddenly at the curb, and the sliding doors flew open. 3 men jumped out. Suddenly they were all over me, knocking me down, pushing my face into the grass and dirt on somebody's lawn. Then I felt a sting in my thigh. A needle? 3 men, not boys, not the Tigers team. Who then? Who was holding me now? What did they want? Chapter 148. There was a damp cloth over my face, some kind of a hood that reeked of rubbing alcohol. Then I was being pulled to my feet. I'd been unconscious, but I didn't know for how long. I had no idea where I was now, but it wasn't a 5-star hotel. I could smell, almost taste, body odor, feces, and urine. The ground under my feet was rough stone, maybe concrete. Did that tell me anything?
"Put your hands flat against the wall and spread your legs. Stay just like that. Don't move, or you'll be shot."
"Where's my family?" Where the hell are they? Who are you? Instead of an answer to the question, I heard an amplified whirring sound in the room.
Stay just like that, or you die right here and now. Then you'll never know about your family. Never is a long time, Dr. Cross. Think about it.
I thought about other things first. Who had grabbed me off the street in Southeast and was holding me now? Could it be another tiger? Somebody else from Nigeria? The voice didn't sound like it. No accent. American. Could it be the CIA? Where's my family? I asked again. No one answered, and I stayed there with my hands tied and held flat against the wall over my head. I knew this particular kind of torture had a name, wall standing. I was also made to wear a hood and was subjected to loud noise and sleep deprivation. I'd heard about these torture techniques before. Now I was the victim. No one answered any of my questions, and I wondered if I was alone. Was I delirious? Was I dreaming all this? My hands went numb first. Then I could feel pins and needles stinging my ankles and feet. Then shooting pains moved up and down my legs. My head began to swim, and I thought I was going to pass out. "I have to pee," I said. "I have to go." No answer. I held it as long as I could, then let go down my legs, over my bare feet. No one reacted. Was anyone there? Was I alone now? Wall standing. Some American government officials had said that it was okay to use techniques like this on suspected terrorists. Was I a terror suspect? What had I done to deserve this? Who was torturing me? My hands were completely numb, and I badly wanted to sleep. I could think of little else, and would have given anything just to lie down on the floor. I couldn't give in, though. Wall standing? I can do this. I thought about stepping away from the wall and what the consequences might be. I held internal debates with myself. They wouldn't kill me, would they? What would be the point of it? Finally, I turned my body so that only one hand was on the wall. Did that count? Was it a violation of the rules? Immediately, I was kicked hard behind the knees. I went down hard on the floor, which seemed to be made of either concrete or stone. Cold to the touch. A bed. Finally. But I was yanked right back up and thrown hard against the wall. Still no one spoke, but I assumed the position. Not just my legs were trembling now, everything was. My entire body was shaking terribly. Who else was with me in the room? What did they want from me? Chapter 149. Then I was talking to Janny. I was hugging her, and I was so happy that she was all right. "Where's Ali? Where's Nana?" I asked in an excited whisper. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" Suddenly, I came to and realized that I had been sleeping on my feet. Janny wasn't here. It was only me. I had the sense that I was in the second day of captivity, or maybe the third day. Suddenly I was startled as someone pulled the cloth hood up around my nose, still keeping my eyes in darkness. "What?" I muttered. "Who are you?" As I spoke, I realized how dry my lips and mouth were. I was given water, which splashed from somewhere, maybe a bottle, pouring down my throat and all over my face.
"Don't be greedy now,"
someone said and snickered, a captor with a cruel sense of humor.
"Eat this, slowly. Don't make yourself choke."
I was fed 3 crackers, one right after the other. I didn't choke, but I was afraid I was going to throw them up as fast as I'd eaten them. "Water?" I asked. "More water, please." My throat was tightening up again. There was a long pause, but then the bottle was returned to my lips. Once more, I drank greedily.
"Too fast. You'll cramp up. Don't want you to be uncomfortable."
Then I was pushed into position again. Wall standing. Chapter 150. Sometime after that, I began to seriously hallucinate, and I wondered if there was something in the water, or maybe even the crackers I'd eaten. I was convinced that I was back in Africa, and that I was lost somewhere in a vast desert. I knew I was going to die soon, and that didn't seem like such a bad thing. I actually welcomed death, and wondered if I would meet Nana, Janny, and Ali on the other side. Would Maria be there too? And others I had lost? I was struck hard in the back, and I fell to my knees again.
You were dreaming, asleep on your feet. That's not allowed, hotshot.
Sorry.
Of course you are. Now, would you like this to stop? Would you like to sleep? I'll bet that you would.
More than anything I've ever wanted in my life. Where? I began to say.
Right. Where is your fucking family? You're nothing if not consistent, or is it stubborn? Or stupid? Now, listen to me closely. I will let you sleep. I will give you closure about your family. Are you with me so far? Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, what? Tell me what you are agreeing to.
You'll tell me about my family. Let me sleep.
Provided that what?
I don't attack and kill you, you son of a bitch, I thought. Where there's a will. Provided I answer your questions.
Very good. Would you like more water, hotshot?
Yes. The cloth hood was lifted halfway, and the water bottle was returned to my lips. I drank as much as I wanted to, but then there was silence. It frightened the hell out of me. Had he gone away? The one who knew what had happened to my family. The one who had actually talked to me for a minute or so. I saw terrible things in Africa, especially in Sudan, I said. I don't think any of that interests you. A family, the Tanzis, were murdered, in Lagos. Maybe because they were talking to me, or because of what Adan wrote in the newspaper. You can get her articles. Are you there? You wanted me to talk, right? Are you listening now? Anyway, Adan Tansi and I were taken to a prison, I continued. She was murdered there. I saw it happen. The tiger killed her. I don't know who the other men holding us were. I don't know who the hell you are. Before we got to the prison, Adan told me about a long piece she was writing. It was to appear in the London Times. The Times, maybe some other papers, I'm not sure. She had learned that the United States might be manipulating factions in the Delta to ensure the oil fields would stay in the right hands. Adan had tapes of interviews. They were taken from her. Whoever captured us must have them now. You have the tapes, don't you? I stopped talking and waited for an answer, any kind of response. But no one said anything. That was the technique, and guess what? It worked. I kept talking. Adan told me the man known as the Tiger was also being paid by our government. I don't know if that's true. You probably know, don't you? I stopped again, then went on. By the CIA, maybe. The oil companies? By someone from here. Adan wrote that, and she told another writer named Ellie Cox. She was killed because of what she knew. That's what I know. That's what Adan found out. That's all of it. I stopped again. There was still no response, not a word from the interrogator. I waited. I waited. I waited. Chapter 151. You think you know what's going to happen in life, but you never do. And usually the surprises aren't good ones either. No one spoke to me for a long time, and I kept waiting for somebody to put a gun to my head to finally pull the trigger. Hours after I was interrogated, I heard footsteps in the room where I was being kept. More than one person. At least two. I pulled myself away from the wall and moved forward. I stumbled and fell to my knees. I pushed myself back up, and somebody grabbed my arm.
Fucker can't even walk by himself.
I heard a door being slit open, and then I felt cool air hit my face. I was pulled forward and then shoved inside some kind of van or truck.
Let's go,
said someone in the front.
We don't have much time for this.
For what? What was happening now? I had no idea where I was going now, but I knew the chances were good that I was going to die.